Hello, everyone. Tanner, welcome back to the show. Breaking Free podcast coming at you. New year. Well, when this goes out, it'll be the new year. Happy
Yeah.
2025 to all my listeners and viewers. If you're new to the show, then you won't know who Tanner is. If you've been listening to the show for a while, then you'll know who Tanner is. He's on every couple of months. Tanner, welcome back. I was
Thank
going
you, Nathan.
through the I was going through the archives of our conversations, mate, and I came across our first New Year's resolutions chat. We have come a long way since then. That was 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. And we've done one every year, so we gotta keep it going, right?
We have to keep going. Last year's was good. I had a bit of a look at last year's earlier, and yeah, I was like, just that first one, and then yeah. So Tanner, welcome back, mate. How you going? How's your Christmas and all that sort of stuff? And we'll crack into a chat.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. I'm always grateful to be on the podcast and talk with you, Nathan. Always enjoy our conversations. Yeah, it's crazy like looking back how much we've grown from the last couple of years and just thinking about like all the stuff we've been through, like the ups and the downs, and like it's it really is just like puts it like everything in perspective, just like kind of thinking about like where you were and where you are now.
Yeah.
Sometimes like it's like easy to lose. I think I talked about this last time for New Year's, but like sometimes it's like easy to lose sight of like how far you've actually come,
Yep.
and just doing these reflections on the past and on like where you've come from can really help put things into perspective. Um, so we got a lot of good things I'm grateful for. I know you're grateful for a lot of things. We were talking about some before. I had a fantastic Christmas with my wife and my family. It's really cool. My son's like 2.5 now, so he gotta, be like a little more aware this Christmas. And it was just like he was running around like gripping everyone's presents open. And he got pretty burnt out pretty fast. Because like it was just like we had a lot of family sitting around, and so he had like a lot of different people's presents to help open. But it was just really fun, and seeing like the joy and the excitement of just Christmas, like me remembering it. We don't really like tell him like necessarily like Santa's real and brought all the presents, but we told him, some people believe in Santa, some don't, and let him choose like what he wants to believe.
That's
And so
cool.
we're just kind of making it like a nice, like fun, special experience. So that's what our Christmas was. I heard you were laying on a beach the whole time, just hanging out. How was your Christmas?
Well, Christmas was good, man. Like, well, the week leading up to Christmas, mate, there was no sun for like two
Oh,
or 3 weeks. Like, we got rain and clouds and fake clouds too. They'll give
right.
us a bit of a spray. And
Oh
then
yeah. Yeah.
last week, the sun decided to show itself. And I spent the whole week in the sun, mate. I finished up on Sunday. I was pretty red. My skin hadn't had a lot of sun. I usually get a lot of sun and don't get
Mhm.
sunburnt, but I was a bit burnt come Sunday. But
Yeah.
yeah, last Wednesday, Christmas was really awesome, man. I went down the gym. There was no one in there. And then, yeah,
Nice.
just laid on the beach for the most of the morning with my brother, and who
Cool.
my listeners and viewers know, Geordie. And yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, we sort of had a bit of a lunch here and a nice dinner. And yeah, just the two of us, mate, a couple of brothers. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Christmas has been Christmas was something that I really, really loved as a child and really, really
Mhm.
look forward to. But there were some things going on around me that sort of put a bit of a black mark over Christmas. And then I went on the
Yeah.
awakening journey, as we all do, and learn about what really goes
Hmm.
on with Christmas. And it just became this
Yeah.
thing where I was like, I don't really want to celebrate it. But
Mhm.
yeah, and I'm the same, I
Yeah.
will say to my kid, look, Santa's, it's not real. And I don't want to ever lie to my children like that. I don't want
Yeah.
them to believe in a lie. So I know
Hmm.
for me, I really bought that Santa lie when I was a kid. So that sort of
Yeah.
upset me a bit. And yeah, Christmas was never really a thing that I would celebrate much in the last couple of years. But last week was really nice. And it was nice to be at the beach and see some kids just loving their new boogie boards and surfboards and sand toys and stuff. Was the
Yeah.
kids really make that day. So when I have my own, it'll be different, right? There'll be a bit more of an excitement there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my
Definitely.
Christmas, mate. Yeah, very grateful for
Awesome.
these chats.
Yeah.
We've had some deep ones, we've had some truthful ones, and some very honest ones, and I'm looking forward to today's chat. All about the New Year's resolutions and how people can start actioning their best selves and their best lives, pretty much right here, right now, in this moment. So Tanner, where do you want to take it, bro? You're the
Yeah.
you're the guest. Kick us off. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I mean, a great place to start, and I think something I think we touched on like every New Year's is just like the importance of like reflecting on the past. I kind of touched on about like at the beginning of the podcast, but I think that's a great place to start if you
Yeah,
are kind of trying to like plan out your future of your year, because like I said, like a lot of us like so it's so easy to just be like, oh man, like I don't have what I want. Like I want to be like not working the 9 to 5 job, or I want to be like, living in this area, not this location. I want to have the girlfriend. I want to have the car. I want to have the money, whatever. But a lot of times, like we just forget about all the things that we do have currently, and all the things that like we were working towards for so many years. And then once we got those things, we were happy in the moment, but then we kind of forgot about them. Like one of the things that I did last year was I did the 7 day water fast, like water
that's
only
right.
fast, and I had some big results out of it. Like I say I definitely took my health another step forward, and just like my spiritual journey another step forward. So I think that was really cool. And I almost like it's funny, like after you do it, you almost kind of like forget about it. Like it's just like, yeah, I did that thing, and almost kind of seems like it's like just a distant past memory, right? But it's like just so nice to remember, like, hey, I did that. That's one thing I did for myself. I wanted to do that. I made that goal and I did it. Right. So like it's just another thing to put on like and say, I did make some of my goals. And then that helps you get more motivation and more encouragement for, hey, next year I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this happen. Just the same way I did with, the 7 day water fast or anything like that. I'm going to move myself forward. I'm going to continue moving myself forward. And
Yeah.
I think that's really important. So, is there anything you reflect on, like that you were working towards and you got to? I know you were talking. Actually, we were talking about something on the before we got on. The girls, right? Your new girlfriends or
Yeah.
your dates.
Yeah, well, before I get there, I just want to touch on the self. We're gonna
Yeah,
go there. We've gone there a few times in my last few podcasts.
yeah.
So, yeah, people are very well aware that I'm in the dating
Okay,
space again after many
beautiful.
years away from it. But I'll get to there because it's the
Yeah,
self-reflection thing I wanted to touch
hmm
on too.
exactly.
I put up a post last night. I went through all my old photos from the year that has been, and I was like, far out. Like, there was so many awesome memories, so many awesome times, and put together a bit of a post about the self reflection and how we should reflect on the year that was and then start setting those intentions and those goals and those things that we want for the new year. But then following through with them,
Hmm.
building that discipline and that resilience, the persistence and the patience to be able to see those things out, to stick those things out. Because the more you do that, the more belief you have in yourself that you can do those things, and the more that subconscious won't like doing that is
Hmm.
tricking that part of the mind that you can do these things and that you are worthy of doing them. And that was something that I reflected on last night when I put that post up. So last night Australian time would have been morning for you, so you would have seen that this morning
Yeah, I
for the
saw it.
US of A. But yeah, so that was big, looking at those photos. And I know at the start of the year, compared to like I've come so far physically, as I was telling you
Hmm.
with the gym, so
Yep.
far mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, all of those things, areas of my life took another step forward. And at some points during the year, it felt like I was taking those steps back, but I needed to
Yep.
take those steps back to then propel forward. And that's sort of how my
Mhm.
year played out on a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
From May
Uh,
to August was just full blown inner work, ancestral stuff, real deep inner work that one day
mhm.
I'll share. Just how powerful, because that's all playing out in the physical now,
Yeah.
and just then the physical health and all those things. It was just really nice to sit back and reflect on the year that was, and then I'd already set 2025 intentions and goals like 3 months ago. Like I've already done that. I
Nice.
know where next year's going. Well, I've got a
Mhm.
fair idea where next year's going, but I'm open to it all and just sort of already put those intentions forward. I used one of the portals in November to do that for the next year. So yeah, I'm
Beautiful.
seeing. Yeah, I definitely want to travel next year, and I want to go to Egypt next year, Tanner. I know you're pretty keen on that.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Egypt's on the bucket list. I want to go back to Rome and do like a European sort of tour like Jason's been doing, something similar
Yep.
to that. So that's sort of where I'm at next year. And I want to explore Southeast Asia, go on the
Hmm.
spiritual journey of the land of all of those special countries there too. So I've got a bit of a trip plan next year, which is what I
Interesting.
want to do.
Awesome.
Yeah, but
Very
for me,
cool.
Tanner, the end of the year, it got to the end of September, and I was like, well, you know what? I've done all this work on myself, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's different for you. You're married, got a kid, but for me, I'm the similar age to you, and I'm in a different space. And I started the journey of uncovering myself and who I was, and I didn't like the version that I was from 2014 to 2021, and I just shut off all women. I needed to go on my own journey to discover who I was and sort of undo those patterns that were playing out in my life. Like I was a bit of a player, as people have heard, and I needed to let that lifestyle go to be able to call in the things that I wanted and the woman that I wanted. Well, I went and saw healers and psychics and different things, and they said that I was always going to be in that space and da 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 da. But I didn't realize I actually had work to do to be able to get to the next step of the.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they said, oh yeah, I just see 3 women that you get to choose from. It's like, okay, cool. I'll just sit back and wait. And I never met those women because I had work to do. I had to untether and I had to understand why I was doing those things so that I become consciously aware of doing it. So then I can learn how to hold space and be open and honest and transparent with a woman because I never did those things. I would always run away over there and ghost them. And as I've said in my story, like I did that and I didn't know how to have those honest conversations. So it comes to September and it's like, okay, I've done all this work on myself. I have there's things that I've done in the last 3 years. I can do these things now. I felt the ego last year was like, yeah, I'm ready. So I jumped back on the dating apps, didn't get a match. But it's like this time round, I'm more centered, I'm more grounded, I'm more calm. I feel like I'm truly ready. So all I did was just put it out into the ethers, into the universe, into God, into spirit, into whatever you believe, and just allowed whatever to transpire to transpire. Yeah, I jumped back on an app. I didn't need the app. I was
Mhm.
getting attention on the beach, in stores, in health food stores, in like it's like it was like I just opened up that pathway. So then I started
Yep.
meeting some women and going on a couple of dates and different things. And it was interesting because they could see me. You know, they could see all of me on like an emotional, like spiritual level. And it was
Mhm.
cool. It was uncomfortable at the start because I'd never really had anyone see me like that before as like a romantic interest. And it was like this stepping stone. You know, the first one came in and sort of lit a spark to be like, oh, I can have fun. I can enjoy being in a woman's company. And I thank her for that beautiful lesson. But that sort of fizzled out. We didn't really see eye to eye on some stuff. Then the next one came in and was like, oh, more of a spark. It was also more about me being honest with her and with myself, you know. And it was all this beautiful lesson of, well, what do I truly want? What are my values? Because they were testing my values. We didn't see eye to eye on some values. So yeah, they were testing my values and my boundaries on those values, which was great because then I was able to be like, look, we don't see eye to eye on some of these things. And I really, really, really value health and wellness. And I was able to have that honest conversation. So it was step by step by step by step. So now I'm just looking forward to seeing what the next one brings. You know what I mean? It's just been a really awesome experience. And one that if anyone out there is single and has sort of taken themselves out of that space, just remember there's only so much work you can do on your own. And for me, I had to realize that and understand that on a deep level to be like, well, if I want to learn more about myself and put myself out there and test my values and what I believe, then I need to journey with someone to learn more about myself. I feel like I did everything that I needed to do on my own. I needed that extra layer of, oh, okay, because it brought up some anger. Like one of the women I was seeing was like, oh, you've got some suppressed anger there. I was like, oh, bullshit. Like, and she saw that and felt that. And then I went away and was like, fuck, I did have some suppressed anger there. And it's like, well, if I hadn't have journeyed with that woman for a couple of, I think it was like nearly a month. It's like, well, I wouldn't have actually gone back and been like, oh, okay, there is some stuff here. It actually allowed me to really get to know myself on a deeper level, to be able to
Yeah.
journey with someone else. Because they saw things in me, I saw things in them. Now, I wouldn't have been able to do that on my own.
Yeah.
So for
It's
me, if you're young, if you're single, if you've stepped back a bit, put yourself back out there and start to learn more things about yourself and just enjoy the journey. I know for me, I really have enjoyed the journey. It's been up, down, uncomfortable, comfortable, everything. And
mhm.
just looking forward to that next connection because I know that I've done some work on myself deeply again in the last couple of
Yep.
months. And I know that the next connection now, it's like, well, I'm ready for that. So I
Yeah.
welcome that with open arms, Tanner. As I was telling you off air, like that next connection, look out.
That's awesome. I love your story too, because like what I like hear from it too is that you're taking like each experience as like something good, right?
Yeah,
Even if
what
it
can I
like
learn
turned
from
out
this?
like even if like you guys didn't like mesh or whatever, you learned something, you took something from it.
Yeah,
And I think that's a good way to take on life, right? Like a lot of things like we like I have like less than desirable experiences or outcomes of things, but we can still make it a good experience based on like our outlook on it and what we're taking from it. So I think that's awesome that you're able to do that and you're there like molding yourself
yeah,
and setting your expectations like you're tuning your reality towards the woman that you're looking for. So
yeah. And
I think
that's
that's
the thing
awesome.
too, is just
Hmm.
asking myself what it is that I truly want and what can this experience teach me? What can this show me? Rather than being like, oh, we don't see eye to eye and being like, oh, da, 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 start. It's like, no, well, what has that taught me? What does that show me? How can I grow from that into the next connection?
Yep.
Just as we were talking about, it circles all the way back to self-reflection. It's
Hmm.
just that self-reflection of each
Yep.
experience. It doesn't matter if it's romantic, it could be financial, it could be mental,
Hmm.
physical. It's like, well, what has this experience showed me? That workout in the gym that was super tough, I couldn't get
Yep.
the 10 to 12 reps in. What did that experience show me? Well, I can do
Hmm.
the 10 to 12 next time because I've just done the work now. You know what I mean? Like just asking yourself each experience, each day, what has each thing taught me. Like I'll do a self reflection on this podcast because I listen to them back and do the self reflection. How can I speak
Hmm.
more clearer next time? How can I,
Yeah.
there'll be words that I've said today. I'll go, well, I'm not saying that in that way next time. I'll say it a different way so that, you know what I mean? Like we
That
always
sounds
self
better.
reflect. We're always getting better.
Hmm.
So that just
Yeah.
circles,
That's
that just
awesome.
does a full circle.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that self reflect. I mean, just brings us back to the self reflection that we are talking
Yep.
about for New Year's, right? Getting yourself into that mindset of, yeah, like and also just acknowledging what you've done well so far and getting yourself to that point. Um, yeah, I got some good things coming for me in the new year too. I'm looking
Yeah, you
forward
do.
to. I got new baby, possibly two. Who knows? We could be twins. It could maybe not be. We don't do ultrasound, so we're keeping it all complete and total surprise. Doing home birth, so we're looking forward to that as well. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year. I got a new job, working at like an a company Spectrum, selling some phone and internet and video services, and I can make some commission off it. So I'm looking at the positives of I don't necessarily want to go back and work for someone else, but the positives of hey, I have an opportunity to learn some more sales skills, to make some money, help support my family. So I'm grateful that it came in my life, right? And that's like the another like shift you can do, right? A lot of people maybe are working in jobs they don't like right now, and maybe this point in their lives. Remember that this job can't just be a temporary stepping stone, right? It's
Yep.
just part of your. What I like to think is like it's actually from Paul Check. It's part of your dream team, right?
Yeah.
Like part of what like a team that you need to help build your dream, right? Because everyone needs money, everyone has to pay their bills, so you're gonna need some form of job to do so. What I found is really helpful for like if I was feeling down or depressed, and I felt this way a couple of times throughout this year, actually, and it was just funny because I've been focusing on trying to help people with depression and like addictions and stuff, but then I've noticed more of my depression has come up this year more than
Okay.
other years. And I think it's just due to some financial stuff and where I'm at with like with my own coaching stuff, not as far as I'd want to be, and that's why I think it's so good to reflect back and just see like, oh, I actually have come a long way, than being like harder on yourself. And so, yeah, just focusing on what you can to move forward every single day. You know,
Mm.
make make better version of yourself, and remember that even if something doesn't seem like it's going to work out, it'll work out. I
100%.
actually have a new affirmation I've been saying.
Here we go.
In all in all things, in all ways, I am supported always is my affirmation.
I say something
And
very similar.
yeah, what do you say? I love to hear it.
Well, I say opportunities come to me always in all ways.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very similar.
Mm,
Yeah, it's just the idea behind that, like everything is working out for me. Everything is conspiring in my favor.
that's it.
Even if I don't understand the inner workings of it, it's always pushing me towards something better. And that's the way I'm going to choose to think about it. And I think that's a great way to go forward, because like you don't have like we can have like amazing intentions and plans for the future, but there's no ways to 100% plan for it, right? Things are going to change, things are not going to be exactly how it is, but everything's going to work out. And that's not to say don't make your intentions and don't make your plans for the future, but just know that things will work out even if they don't go exactly how you're wanting it to it or envisioning it to.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
always reminded of that
Yeah.
because I always have a vision and a plan of how things work. And it just,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I resonate with that. It's like you were talking to me then, Tanner, because I
Hmm.
often need that constant reminder of, hey, that's a real good one too, for a lot of
Yeah.
people out there. And it's also taking those small action steps.
Hmm.
Like each day, what action can you take that makes tomorrow better?
Yeah.
So what can
Just
you
like
do
you're doing with
today?
your working out, like you were talking to me about,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Like
That's a
you
good
started
segue.
slow, you started low, and you built it up slowly,
Yeah.
built it up.
I am going to
You're building
do
it
a
up.
video and a post about that
Okay.
eventually,
Yeah.
just to give people out there some hope that, I started the gym thing in 2023 and
Hmm.
I'll paint people a picture here. I couldn't do a push up. I couldn't do a pull up. I did push ups like I was humping the ground. Like I had no technique. I
Hmm.
couldn't do a pull up. And my buddy started on I think it was 12 and a half to 15 kilo just with the dumbbells, like curls and presses. And I was like, oh, yeah, give us the 12 and the 15 and I'll smash out 3 sets of 12. No worries at all. Mate, I got to 6 and was like, I can't do any more
Hmm.
than 6 on the first set.
Yep.
So he's like, mate, you got to drop them back. And I was like, the ego was like, it's like, fuck. Like that upset me because then I was like, well, now I've got
Yeah.
to go on the baby weight. So I was doing I started on the eights and the
Hmm.
nines, tens. And I was like that really, really, really dented my ego at that time because I thought I could I thought I had strength. It's
Yeah.
when you step out into that space is when you get tested. And I got tested. I will admit right here, right now, I had pretty much no physical strength.
Hmm.
So then it was only a couple of weeks ago. This is now, I'll be nearly a year, 2 years in now. And I walked into the gym the other day and I just took a moment. Like I looked at the end of the rack where I started, which wasn't even, I didn't even start at the main rack. I started on the baby rack. And I went, wow. Because then I went to the end of the first rack and went, well, I can do 3 sets of 25 by 12. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, looks like I'm going down the second rack. And I stood there and went, look how far I've come in 1 year and 6 to 8 months. I am
Yep.
now on the second rack of weights. So I got the 27 and a half in my hand. I was like, holy shit. Like, that's what your body can do. I started doing the chin ups and the pull ups, and I had a TheraBand. Actually, I couldn't do the TheraBand one. I had to have
Yeah.
assistance. Like I had to have my mate grab me to just hold me up. Only today, I did 3 by 20 on my own,
Nice.
pulling myself up on my own without the TheraBand or a mate holding me up.
Hmm.
I was like, holy, like our bodies can adapt and do things. We just got to take that action step, follow through, and just know that somewhere down the road, you'll be able to do those things. I set a goal that I'll be able to do those things within 6 months. It took a little bit longer than 6 months to be able to do that because I started from ground zero. But a year and a half later, well, I did tick those boxes. I'm doing them now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I even started doing the body weight dips for the triceps. I
Nice.
I couldn't even do any of those either. Like I
Yeah, those seem
seriously had no
difficult.
strength. But today I
Hmm.
did. It's taken a little bit to build my tricep strength. I did
Yeah,
3 sets of 10 on my own today, and I was like,
nice.
yes.
Yeah, those things are no joke. They're definitely a good workout.
But that's the thing,
Oof.
though. Like for anyone listening out there, just take that step and
Yeah.
don't be so hard on yourself if you can't do those things as quickly as you want, or if you
Hmm.
can't do them yet. Just know that if you keep showing up, keep fronting up, keep going, keep putting in the reps, that somewhere down the road you'll be able to do those things and you look back and go, shit, look how far I've come. Because I had that moment last week.
Exactly. No, it's true. I mean, and a lot of people think you have to go to the gym or something to like work out.
You don't have to go to the
You
gym
can
to
just
work
do
out. You can do whatever you want.
you can just do push-ups. Just do some jumping jacks. Park at
Yeah.
the end of like when you're going to a grocery store. Park at the end of the parking lot. Do the whole walk in. Right. Start someplace small and start building yourself up. Even if you're at the point where even just doing like a walk around the neighborhood is too much. Start small. Start building yourself up. You can get yourself back up to the point where
Yep.
you are doing better. Yeah, and I think, well, for any parents out there, if you're trying to get your kids to be healthier, or they'll mimic you, right?
Yeah.
I do pull ups, and my son asks to do pull ups all the time. So I'll lift him up to the pull up bar, and he'll try to do pull ups. I kind of help support him a little bit, but he's 2.5, and he can do like 4 or 5. And sometimes I'll be like, "Come on, do another one," and he'll just like keep like struggling and pull himself up. Like he's getting stronger. Like soon he'll be able to just do pull ups on his own.
Yeah. Because he's watching
Um,
you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just
That's
amazing
awesome.
being able to see that. Like, so be the change you want to see for your own
Yeah.
kids if there's any parents out there.
100%.
You can use that as motivation to get yourself out working out if
Yeah.
you need to.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
If you've got a family, kids and that, like you're not just doing it for
Yep.
yourself, you're doing it for them. And I know for
Hmm.
me that I had intentions of going into the gym when I was 17 of my intentions were pretty much for the opposite sex and they weren't the right intentions, because I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for attention that I
Hmm.
wanted. I stepped back in that space and it's like, well, no, I'm doing this for me now. I'm doing this for me.
Yep.
I'm doing it for future generations of my family.
Hmm.
That's what I'm doing it for.
Yeah.
And it's
And
like,
it feels good.
that's what gets me out of bed on some of those mornings where it's like, I don't want to go today.
Hmm.
Like there's some days where I won't be able to lift the 27 and a half. So I will go back. Our bodies
Yep.
tell us if they want to do and for me, I just listen to it and say, well, if it doesn't want to lift
Hmm.
heavy today, well, I'm still going to lift something because for me, it's therapeutic. I love getting in there and doing that. But when I first started the gym, this is something else some people might resonate with. When I first started, I used it as a form of self-sabotage. I was like, I feel good. I was addicted to the feeling good. And I used it to escape again. And
Yeah.
I had a couple of weeks off and I was like really missing it and different things. I was like, yeah, I needed those 2 weeks off to learn how to go in there better next time, to start
Mm.
listening to my body and not smash myself in there. Because I was doing
Yeah.
that for a little bit too.
Hmm.
We go in there and we want
Yeah.
to smash ourselves. Like we're feeling these certain things and we use the gym because we know it's better than the alcohol, it's better than the sex, and it's better than not the sex, the casual sex, and it's better than all these other modalities and these other chemicals. But we're still using that gym in the same way. We're still using that to escape. And I know for me, I was.
Hmm.
But I thought it was a healthy
Yep.
way. I thought it was healthy to be able to do it. But no, but my body was like, fuck, mate. Like you're smashing it. For me, I don't go in there and do, 2 or 3 hour workouts. I'm like 45 minutes to an hour and I'm done.
Yeah.
Like people are in there for 3 or 4 hours, like they're doing all this stuff and they're walking out, their bodies are fucked. Like you want to walk out feeling good, you know,
Hmm.
less is more.
And I've been started being really intentional with my workouts and
Yeah,
like
same.
imagining myself while I'm working out.
Yep.
I imagine my muscles growing bigger. That sounds weird, but like that's actually really good. Like
I do that
your
too.
mind, your mind is really like And like imagine like yeah, like literally use your imagination while you're working out and
I'm fairly sure you
envision it
spoke
more.
about that on a podcast with
Yeah,
us like
I
a
think
year or two
so.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, about I think there's a study I saw that like there was a group of people who were like monitored just for working out, and then there's another group of people who were monitored for just imagining themselves working out,
Yeah.
and they had like similar gains, even though they didn't like one group of people didn't work out at all. They just imagined themselves working out for like 10 minutes every day. And so
I
the other
do that on
people
my
actually worked
rest
out for the
days
entire day.
or when I'm in
Yeah,
bed. It's like when I'm in
exactly.
bed and meditating and stuff, I'll just imagine
Hmm.
myself, lifting heavier weight and doing
Yep,
those things. So then one day I'm actually living out that dream anyway.
exactly. But actually, I like your point too about like how there's self sabotage in working out. Because a lot of people think, oh yeah, it's healthy, you can't, right? But I think it's true that like a lot of people push themselves way too hard, and then they actually hurt themselves, right? You
Correct.
see that a lot. Like people like they go so hard, and then they're like, oh, I like ripped my muscle, and they're like, how did that happen? It was self sabotage. You were pushing yourself so hard and so far out of your comfort zone that like you hurt yourself,
Your
which
body
is a
just
way to keep
wasn't ready
yourself
for
the
that yet.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And it's a way to keep yourself the same too. If you think about it, like a self sabotage form, just keep yourself the same, which
Yeah.
people don't think about. But I mean, yeah, it's something we all do. But
Yep.
it's important to listen to your body and just find those days to relax as well, or do it at like a reduced weight, like you're talking about. Give yourself those your body and your muscles time to relax and to recharge and
Yeah.
regrow.
And if you're young and that, for me, I wanted to lift the heavy weight straight away. You just got
Yep.
to let that go and start. If you have to start in the baby. Let that go, and you'll eventually get to where you want to get to. It's the same with life too. Like
Mhm.
you may not be able to start and get the thing straight away. You're going to have to actually do work to get that thing.
Yep.
For me, I started ground zero, so I had to work my way up. But that's played out in all other areas of my life too, not just gym.
Mhm.
The gym was the foundation for the rest of it.
Yep. Health is foundation
That
for a
is
lot of
it.
your life. That's for
That
sure.
is it. Tanner, if there's a New Year's resolution that you want to set, actually, no, not that's yeah, no. If there's a New Year's resolution that you have set yourself, what is that New Year's resolution? What is 2025? What's the big thing Tanner wants to achieve in 2025?
Really, it's just to continue pushing myself forward.
Love it.
So like within my business or becoming a better father, a better like role
Yeah.
model for my kids. So that may look like pushing harder into my workouts while still being conscious about it and being aware, how hard I'm pushing myself, but just going a little bit, further into that. Um, Trying to help my wife more, especially with new baby here, and it's gonna be interesting with our new schedule. But gonna find a way to work, and I guess really the main thing I'm gonna take into this new year is just my affirmation. That's what I've been really focusing on lately. Is in all things, in all ways, I am supported always. Um, just a mind state. Taking that mind state into this new year is my commitment for myself to start to think, just differently about how things are going, which is, I know a lot of people don't actually usually talk about that for their affirmation, like for their New Year's resolutions, usually something like physical or something like that. But, just changing. And I think I've done this, like reflecting. I've worked a lot on like my thoughts and like the things I said, like you and me were talking about how like spoiling a kid, right? And like how I don't like to say that anymore because I thought about just like is my kid like a cup of milk that's gonna get spoiled if I give him too many good things, right? Like, no, I don't want to put that into the universe or say that about my kid. Um, so like just things like that, just being more conscious of what I'm saying, and even just more about what I'm thinking, and that's not something that's gonna be like I decided and it's done. I'm gonna, I'm gonna counter thoughts that come up, and maybe some repetition and some programming from my mind that's gonna counter. But it's just taking on those thoughts one step at a time and reprogramming them towards the thinking that I want to do. Right. And I've
Yeah.
noticed that as I've been doing that this last couple year, because I've been like kind of started it last couple months. Um, I've been noticing just more synchronicities happening, more things showing me. like just more signs showing me that, hey, I am supported in all ways. Like things are going to work out. Like I was looking for a job for a while after I had lost my other one, and my I had severance pay, so I was getting paid to not work, essentially like a package so I could look kind of work while I didn't have a job. And like I was like the very last like week, and I thought I was not going to have a job. I was like, how am I going to make money to pay for this? And I ended up applying to this job, and I got it. Like they called me like a day after I applied to it, and I was like, wow, this is fine. Come to find out, I can make some pretty decent money doing commission. So like, it's just kind of like a sign that everything is going to work out, and taking that into the future.
Yeah,
I think yeah.
that's a good one, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can get stuck in the shit, and it's
Yep.
like no, it's like that inner knowing of this is going to work out. It's just
Mm-hmm.
being patient with yourself in the process, right?
Yeah. It kind of gives you like it's like that faith, that confidence, that just like let's go helps let go of a lot of stress too. When you're putting
Yeah,
your trust into that everything is going to work out, because so many of us are stressed out about like whatever is going to happen in the future, that's some kind of story that we're telling ourselves that hasn't even happened yet, right? Oh, I'm gonna not have enough money to pay for my bills, and my family's gonna go onto the street, we're not gonna have food, like just all these stories we tell ourselves. But at the end of the day, like everything's gonna work out, and you don't have to worry yourself about it. Work on becoming your best self and just doing your best, and everything will work out how it needs to.
exactly right. And that's a good
Yeah.
message. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's so true though, eh? Hmm. Lots
Well,
lots to ponder there, eh?
yeah. So what about you? What's your message for anyone and your New Year's resolution here?
Well, my New Year's resolution is just to continue becoming that better version of me. I often say it, and I'll say it again. There was a version of me 2 years ago that wanted to be doing what I'm doing now, that wanted to look the way I'm looking now. Well, I'm living that version. There was a version of me that wanted to be up where I'm living now, that wanted to
Yep.
be going to the gym and looking a certain way. And it wasn't just that version of me 2 years ago. This goes way back. We're talking to when I was a kid, teenager. The way I'm looking right now, it's like there's other versions of me here that are like, fuck, like so proud. And it's like, well, I'm doing them proud. I'm doing myself proud. And for me, it's now, okay, well, there's a version of me that exists in 12 months and 2 years' time that has a family, that is a husband, that is a father, right? I'm striving each and every day to be that guy because I've already done the work to be the guy I am now. What more work do I need to do to be that next guy? That next guy is pretty cool. I want to be him. So I'm doing
Nice.
things each and every day to be that guy. Putting myself back in the dating space was just one action step to be that guy. I had things to work on, things to learn to be that guy. I wouldn't have done like if I hadn't have done the dating thing, then I'd still be stuck floating around waiting for that right connection to come because I wouldn't have done any work. So
Yep.
that action step has now allowed me to be one step closer to being that guy because I want to be that guy.
I love it.
So that's what I'm doing
It's-
now is doing things each and every day, putting myself in different situations, being uncomfortable, dating and doing those things because I want to be that guy. I want to have my own family the way you have yours, and for other people around me, it's like, well, I want to be that guy, but I had work to do to be that guy. I'd done enough work on myself to be that guy. I need a journey with someone else to be that guy. So here I
Mhm.
am. And for anyone out there, New Year's resolutions, for me, it's as simple as I just want to be the next best version of me. Whether that next best version of me is the father and the husband, I got a feeling it probably is going to be. It's like that's the next version I want to be. I'll sit here in 12 months' time. Might very well be a husband. I don't know. But it's like, okay, well, what's the next version beyond that? I haven't figured that out yet, but there is a version beyond that. It's like I'm just focused on being that next version. But yeah, it's just because we all want things. We all want more. We all want. Okay, well, once you have that thing, what's the next step beyond that? Once you have it, what's next? So for me, Tanner, it might very well be where you're at.
Well,
The next best version of me beyond the husband and father might very well be just to be the provider, to be that role model, to be what you were talking about.
yep,
So
you
for
got it.
me right now,
I see
it's
it.
like, well, I want to build that family and build that family unit. That's what I'm focused on right now. And I'm acting and putting not acting, but pretend not like just imagining that I've already got it. So I'm already being that version of me.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like,
Not just thinking of myself, but thinking of, okay, well, this habit now. So if I'm about to go and do this, how's this going to affect my family? How's this going to
yep,
affect who I'm with, my partner? Da 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 da. Like I'm already asking myself those questions on each habit that I'm doing. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this, but how's that going to affect if I have other people in my life to consider, not just me?
yep, being conscious,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
conscious about your actions and what you're doing and how it impacts others. I
So
love
there
it.
you go. There's another news resolution. I'm going to be more conscious about what I'm doing and who I'm doing it for and why I'm doing it.
I love it. I mean, I feel like that's a big part of like what overcoming self-sabotage is, right? It's just
Conscious.
being more conscious about what you're doing. Why are you doing it? Once you
Yeah.
understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, it's a lot easier to address it. It's no longer like, oh, I keep sabotaging myself. I don't know why. Like it's like, oh, I'm doing that because of this. Like I'm sabotaging myself. Like I'm dating all these like toxic woman because I had a toxic relationship with my mom or something, right? Like you start to become more aware of those things, and that's how you start to piece it together. So that's awesome.
Because if you're
Yep.
connecting the dots, like we talk about connecting dots, if you're out there connecting the dots of the truths of the world, that's great. Keep connecting those dots because the world's lying to you. But then shine that mirror or that light back onto yourself and connect those dots with you. If you can
Yep.
connect the truth of the world dots, then you'll be able to look within and connect your own dots. Be like, okay, where am I lying to myself? Because the world's lying to me. As you just said, why am I doing these things? Why am I sabotaging myself? Because of relationships with people from past or from woundings and different things. It's like they're the same dots. They're just on you. And a lot of people connect the truth of the world dots super easy. They're pretty easy to connect. But it's when we have that mirror and we shine that light back on ourselves, we go, ooh, 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 ooh. No, embrace that.
Yep.
Connect the dots with you
Mhm.
because
It's
you're lying to yourself too if you think that coffee every day is healthy. You're
yep.
lying to yourself too if you think that eating Maccas and KFC and all this junk food bullshit's good for you. You're lying to yourself if you're believing that there is a mysterious bloody, I don't want to say anything too, of the last 5 years that's going around killing grandma. That's a lie. Like,
Yeah.
if you're getting up every day and watching the mainstream media telling you that 2 glasses of alcohol a night's healthy, that's a lie because that's poison. Poison in any amount's not good for anyone.
Yep.
Like that's a lie. You're living out lies as truth. If you're lying, getting out of bed every day and lying to yourself and saying that you're really enjoying that 9 to 5 job and you're telling Tom, Dick, and Harry you're enjoying it, but when there's no one else around and you're getting up out of bed and you're like, oh, I can't, I just don't. It's like you're lying to yourself.
Yep.
So in 2025, stop lying to yourself and stop believing and embodying and living lies as truth. If you're out there being a health coach or a fitness trainer and you're consuming the energy drinks and the shit food and all that, then you're lying to yourself. And then you're being a disservice to your clients.
Yep.
So in
No doubt.
2025, stop lying to yourself and embody that version that we all want to be and start being more authentic and live in truth. Live in what's true to you and be more authentic and just be you. Stop
Yep.
pretending to be someone else that you're not. I don't know who needs to hear that, but someone does watching.
Yeah. Lying to yourself equals pain.
Correct.
it's It's gonna lead to extended pain the more longer you lie to yourself, I found.
and
Yeah.
face the truth that's within you.
Mm.
Face it all, and then step out into the world and start speaking that truth and go about that journey of changing.
Agreed. Spot on. It was a
Mm.
good talk.
That was a good talk, Tanner.
Yeah, I'm
Where can
excited for the
people
new year.
find you if they're new to this channel?
Yeah, you guys can find me. Just search Tanner the Mind Hacker. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram. Like on Facebook, you're not gonna find me under that, but just Instagram or TikTok. You guys can find me all on there. So, thank you.
And people can
Always love
find
coming
all
on.
of that in the show notes. People can
Yep.
find out there's so many conversations put in the show notes. If you just jump on my YouTube channel, there is a tab on there. You can look back on all the conversations we have with Tanner. Can't do it on Spotify, but if you want to just flick through the library, you'll see my chat Tanner in there.
Yeah, there's a
And if you want to
lot.
connect with me, well, all of my stuff's in the bottom as well. Email addresses there too. So big things coming for 2025, I feel, Tanner. Big things for the collective. I feel like there is going to be some truth in some form dropping next year in a very interesting space that I don't want to talk about too much. But yes, there is some truth that's going to come out next year. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Looking forward to seeing the world changing again. I feel like there's going to be some more change next year, globally
Yeah,
and personally.
agree. Yeah, just based off things I've heard this year and feelings I have, I think this is gonna be a really good year. Actually, I don't think I know it's gonna be a really good year next year.
I'll give
And
people a hint. If
we're
you
gonna
all
make it a
look,
good year.
we'll give people a hint on what I'm talking about here. If you're following that Diddy story,
Uh-huh.
that's going to be exposed on a big level next year. Some of the people that you've idolized as singers and actors and celebrities aren't who they say they are behind closed doors. If you're watching and following the Diddy stuff, you've followed the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, expect a few more people. And I'm talking all over the world here, not just in America. You know, you might want to look at your royal family. You might want to look at, yeah. Just keep a close eye on that for those that are interested, because that's going to drop even harder next year, and it's going to upset some people because these people live two different lives, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that all plays out, because we all know who they are, but there might be people out there that won't and will shock them. It's okay. You didn't have, like, there were versions of you that idolize those people. That's fine. Just idolize yourself and get to know yourself on that deep level. Stay true to you, stay grounded, stay calm, stay cool, stay centered, and don't let those things break you down, because those people, you've trusted them. That's fine. You've allowed yourself to do that. Just start trusting yourself. That's the way to get through 2025. So I just wanted to reiterate that. I feel like the mass disclosure is coming on that space next year.
Well, I can only hope. It makes me it would make me feel a lot better about my raising my son in that kind of world,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So stay centered, stay calm, stay cool, stay grounded, stay you, stay true to you, and you'll navigate the shit show that will be 2025 on the world stage.
Yep. Oh, and actually, wait, let me correct myself. I said makes me feel. I don't like to say that. It helps me feel better knowing that there'd be less people like that.
Yes.
Roaming free in our world.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big believer nothing can make you feel any certain way.
No.
It's just a choice. So,
but
I just had to correct myself there.
But I just wanted to reiterate. I just wanted people to realize just to idolize themselves. You don't have to idolize the people on the world stage. Just look yourself in the mirror and idolize you and get to know you and just embody who it is that you want to be, and just be you. Don't go and get the same shoes they have. Don't go and get the same necklaces and jewelry and clothing and all that they wear. Don't trust them. Trust you.
Yeah, I think your point's valid. Like when you're saying like idolize yourself, you're saying love yourself. Like think of like a better version of yourself, and that's the person you're idolizing. Like you were talking about, right? Like this is the person I want to be in the future.
Yeah, I idolize the husband and father. I know he's out there. He already exists.
Exactly.
He's already got the kids, the wife. He has it all, that guy. I'm just walking up to him and being like, can I be you, man? And it's like,
you already are him.
Exactly. It's just a version of me, a piece of me that I'm working towards. And it starts in a couple of days, Tanner. I'm looking forward to that, as I told you
Awesome.
off air. So look out.
Yep. That's exciting, man.
All
That's
right.
great.
For those that have been listening and watching in 2024, thank you very much for your viewership, your energy, and your. I hope this podcast has really helped you guys change in the last 12 months. This podcast is going to go in a real different direction next year. I look forward to sharing that with you all soon. Tanner, I'll tell you about that off air. It's pretty exciting. And everyone have a happy new year. Stay true to you. Stay grounded, stay cool, stay calm. And Tanner and I will be back in the new year with some very, very interesting conversations, as they will be. Tanner, thank you
Awesome.
for everything
Perfect.
this year. You've come on a lot this year, so thank you for that. And I
Yeah.
hope you and your family have an awesome new year as well.
Thank you. Awesome. So much. So grateful to be on as always, Nathan. And it's gonna be a good year. I'm excited to see what this next year brings us, and some more collaborations together.
Yeah. Guys, we're over and
Awesome.
out. There's some awesome guests coming up next year. Tanner will be back on again soon. We'll see him soon. Thank you all for listening and watching wherever in the world you are. Hope you got a lot out of that conversation. Talk soon. Cheers.